Greetings, grown-ups. Thanks for checking out today's edition of the Independent Mail. I'm your carrier for today, QT Dub. And first off, I'm gonna go ahead and admit, here at the Independent Mail, we needy AF. We needy around these parts. And what I mean by that is if you like any of this content, you get something out of it, you're just entertained or enjoy it, we really need you to hit that like button. We would like for you to subscribe. And we would also like for you to share with other like-minded individuals. And what else do we like for you to do around here? We like for you to be like LL. We want you to rock the bells. Hit that notification bell so that you'll be notified of future content, because we're working hard here at the Independent Mail, pushing out content each and every week. And also, if you don't mind, drop a comment about today's topic. Let me know what you think. Do you think we're doing too much, doing too little? Right on board. And let me know how you feel with my overall assessment with the fouls that I called today. But anyway, again, that was all the little YouTube housekeeping stuff. Let's get at it. So, if you checked out the thumbnail and you clicked in, you see what today's topic is about. Today's topic, of course, is about a serious situation that, of course, I wouldn't want to be on the other end of, and that's Miss Brittany Griner, accomplished basketball player, ridiculous in college, now in the WNBA, and of course, everybody knows her situation now over in Russia. Oftentimes, we think that the privileges that we have in the U.S. travel with us abroad, and they do not. And this was a very sad and harsh way to realize that, but it is a lesson for all of us that when we do get those passports stamped and we travel internationally, that we have to realize that we're not in the confines of the U.S. anymore, especially when we go to places that aren't allies. I remember not too long ago in one of the I think summer games, I can't remember what year it was, but it was the games that were being held in Rio. And I believe, I'm trying to remember who this was. One of our swimmers went over there and started acting, excuse me, but this is how we do it we delivering real mail over here, and the Independent Mail. But he went over there and acted a damn fool, acted an ass. I believe it was Lochte, if I'm not mistaken, and went over there, really showing his ass. Like, his ass may literally been out, like peeing and all kinds of shit everywhere in public. But anyway, and he was detained, and really that just ended up being a big embarrassment, because unlike Russia, we don't have a hostile relationship with Brazil. So it was just kind of more of an embarrassment and not a situation where, he's being captive. But anyway, I'll get into to both teams, teams being the Democrats and the Republicans. First, I'm going to start off with the mainstream, moderate, kind of down the middle, Democrats and Republicans. Par for the course, very good responses for both ends. People, like LeBron, which we know to be a liberal individual. The administration, of course, right now trying to work to work something out to get Ms. Griner home. Good responses from those guys. Also like the responses for people that are more conservative, like Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan on Joe Rogan's podcast called out, the sentencing is pretty much being outrageous, and really hoping that some things can be done, to try to help one of our citizens, get home. Very good piece. He also went further actually, and was saying that we should look at people here inside the country that are currently incarcerated for cannabis. And I actually think that's a good discussion, and I may discuss that later here on the Independent Mail, because I do have some thoughts about that. And I'm on both sides of it, because some of it's kind of an analogy of prohibition, but I don't want to spin off too far on that. But I did like middle of the road reactions with that. Also, again, someone that you would think that would be a little bit more fringe sometimes on the right, Ted Cruz. He tweeted also that he wished well and hoped that we could do what we needed to do to help Miss Griner get home. Now, Those are the good plays. Sick, weak ass whistle. You know, I'm gonna have to add an effect for a whistle on that one. But fouls. We had a couple of fouls on the play. A couple of fouls on the play. Of course, they're on the extreme fringe ends on both parties. So I'm gonna deal with the Republican Party first. I'm issuing them a personal foul. Because some of them chose to get their troll on during the sentencing. And not to say that both parties don't troll when they get an opportunity to, but it's the reason for the trolling. Because I didn't know why they were doing it. I just saw something saying something about GOP trolling. I was like, what could they possibly be trolling for? And of course, it's because Ms. Griner's stance with the anthem. And that is something that we definitely get into on a different video because it'll get into something that I liken a small analogy to with some of the fringe far right. And it's really funny because politics, as far as America's concerned, with some of the fringe far right and women have something in common. And that is, those are like the two subjects that you can't say anything about or you hate them. On the far, some of these people, fringe people on the far right, if you offer any criticism about the country, towards the country, any way you can make it better, it's something you don't like, you hate it, get out, you can go somewhere. Just find it really, and then sometimes when you see in these male spaces that if you offer any criticism about females, you hate them. Really, really, really interesting. But if I go off on the Falcons, Braves, Hawks all day long, people automatically know I'm doing this because I'm a fan, not because I hate those teams. The teams I hate, I don't say shit about them. I don't care. But anyway, that's that. Personal foul on the far right Republicans for being Thomas Petty. But it happens. Actually, have a bigger foul on the play, and it's for the far left. It's for the far left liberal Dems. I know you're like, why? How could I possibly be calling a foul on them? Not only am I calling a foul, I'm calling a technical. You're not only going to get to shoot a free throw, you're going to get the ball after this. And this is why, because I feel like their foul is far more egregious and damaging. Even though the first personal foul I call on the Republicans is definitely worth doing a whole video on, and I will. But for this one, we need to get into this right here. And this is what my issue is. The far left the left period has sometimes a problem with putting too many things under an umbrella. And in this particular case, they have placed Ms. Griner's situation in a unequal pay bucket. What do I mean by that? Well, that's literally what they've done. They're literally saying that the only reason that Ms. Griner is over there is because of the gender. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm going to a site and I'll share it on the screen so that you're able to see it. But literally a report here, NPR, and it says Ms. Griner's detention in Russia, what it tells us about basketball's gender pay gap. So they're making a connection, and a lot on the far left are making a connection of Ms. Griner being in Russia, being detained over a pay gap, particularly in basketball. Now, I'm going to set aside all of industry because I'm not going to say that there's not instances of unequal pay, but we're talking about basketball right now. And I'm going to set aside, I know other people definitely point to, well, it was her personal responsibility and her choice to carry the oil, blah, blah, blah. That's why she's over there. I'm going to set all of that stuff in different buckets and leave them alone. I'm just going to stay straight on the pay issue and why this one's the technical foul. Okay. Miss Griner is playing or was playing basketball in Russia because, for what I understand, she was able to make not 2, not 3, but 4 times her WNBA salary. You can look this up. This is accurate. This is correct. Most people, if they had an opportunity, whatever it is you do, to go make 4 times whatever it is you do, you'll probably go do it. I actually know people that have gone to the Middle East to go do things that they do here in the States for a ridiculous amount of money. So people do this. People go abroad definitely for money. But here's what nobody's getting at when they want to bring up the pay issue and why she was over there paying as far as the money. Why is the pay different? Because, of course, when we get into this whole unequal pay, usually the boogeyman and the bad guy is some man somewhere or a board of men that are making this decision that ha, let's see if we can get away with paying these women less than we do a man. And then I'm saying is, in this particular sports league, which is here to entertain people, they pay those players based on the revenue that those teams / the league / the sport brings in overall. So I've seen comparisons about, if it was LeBron over there, it would be more of an effort to get him back and this and that. Or if she got paid closer to like what LeBron did, she wouldn't have been there in the first place. Well, here's the problem with that. The leagues don't make the same amount of money. They don't generate the same amount of revenue. They don't have allegiances by the same types of fan bases. What do I mean by that? The NBA is a male league, primarily supported by males. We watch basketball as little boys. We watch it as young men. We watch it as old men. We take our kids to games. We buy sports packages. We buy jerseys, blah, 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 blah. We support, we sustain the sport. Now, let's take a peek right quick. It'll be up on the screen. Let's see what the WNBA does. And then we're going to find out who's responsible for this. We're going to find out who's responsible. So, again, on viewership, this is all of 2021, viewership across ABC, ESPN, ESPN2. It's 306,000. Average a game, 306,000. And then they showed how the draft of 2022 was up 20% and 403,000. Watch that. I'm not getting ready to go and see what averages are for NBA games, because we know they're way more than that. Way more than 300,000. Way more than that. We know it's in the millions. So that's not a fair comparison. I'm trying to drill down to why this is an issue, and this is why this technical foul is getting blown on the extreme left with this one by trying to make this Griner situation a gender issue. Taking a peek. 2019-2020 ratings for the Real Housewives of Atlanta. One show, Real Housewives of Atlanta. Let's see. Season 12, episode 16, March 1st, 2020, around the same time period, 1.9 million. Episode 17, March 8th, 2020, 1.7 million. Episode 18, March 22, 1.9 million. Let's skip down. Episode 26, March 24th, 2020, 1.4 million, a reunion show. Who's watching The Real Housewives of Atlanta? This is one show. Anybody looking at this knows that Real Housewives has several iterations of this across different cities. This is just one of them, and it's getting views by the millions per episode. Who's watching it? I'm not. Most males aren't, unless you happen to get hijacked into watching it sitting on the couch with a significant other and she's watching it. So I did all of this to prove a point, and however, I'm somewhat long-winded, but see, this is not one of these gender gap pay issues. The gender isn't the issue with this. The gender is actually the cause of it. Women are not supporting that women's sport. They're supporting the Real Housewives of fill in the blank. They're supporting love and hip hop, love and basketball, love and love. They're supporting all of the crazy stuff that they can watch on TV, but they're not watching you guys that started with the fundamentals in the 6th grade, went through middle school, high school, able to play D1 ball, blood, sweat, and tears, all of that, to get to the big stage. They're not watching it. They rather watch people be ratchet and gossip and drink mimosas and shop all day. So those are the people. If you want to make somebody responsible for Miss Griner being in captivity in Russia, it's her girl power sisters that are responsible. I'm not making that up. The numbers are showing you guys that. I'm just delivering the mail. Technical foul this time on the far left by trying to make Miss Griner's situation one of those feminist gender pay inequality situations. Does that exist? Yes. Does this need to fit up under that umbrella? No, because women are responsible for women's basketball. They don't watch it, but they quick to take them and them girlfriends to an NBA game and see if they can sit as close as they can to the seat where the players are, though. They'll do that, but they won't go pay to go watch Miss Griner play. So anyway, that's what we had in the mailbag for today. I hope you appreciated it. If you like it, I really hope you leave a comment. Let me know if you think that we are doing about the right amount of activity as far as the government is concerned, and as far as working to try to get a home. Should we be doing more? Should we be doing less? But I really want to know, what do you feel about this being lumped into the gender inequality bucket? Do you think it belongs there, or do you think the onus actually belongs on women for not supporting the sport? Let me know. Again, it's your guy, QT Dub. Really happy you came by. I appreciate it. See you on the next one. Holla.